start to breathe a little bit deeper, okay? Maybe you have a hand on your heart and a hand on your belly and your eyes closed. And just start to let the breath do what it does. Let it come into your body and come into your mind and create some stillness. Maybe you can notice that on every inhale, as we invite that prana deep into our body, that if we're not careful, we also invite some tension into our jaw, maybe even our mind and our shoulders as we draw that breath in. And instead of waiting for your exhale to soften and let go, see if you can soften through the jaw, the eyes, the face as you draw that breath in. So if you're drawing that breath in a little bit slower, it might help too. So it's not this frantic, like gasping. You're just slowly drawing air in and allowing it to soften your body, your mind. Let's see if we can stay connected with our breath, with this moment, as we start to move our bodies. Hug your knees in, hug your forehead in, just touch the knees, squeeze everything in really tight. And then start to rock forward and back. Maybe the toes touch the ground behind your head and you rock all the way up to a seat a couple times. And when you're ready, we'll stay in a seat at the top. The legs crossed, find a nice tall spine. Inhale, lift the shoulders up into the ears, draw them back. Exhale, let them sink down. We'll do this a couple times. See how slow you can move and how slowly you can draw in that breath. As you inhale, yeah, you're lifting the shoulders up, which creates a little bit of tension, but make sure you're not creating tension in the face, in the jaw, in the mind. Draw the shoulders back. As you exhale slowly, let them sink down as the heart lifts. 2 more times. Take your time. Now keep the shoulders softly drawing down the back. Inhale, reach your arms out to the sides, parallel to the ground, but your palms facing forward. And now really reach further and see if you can draw the shoulders away from each other a little bit, but keep them softening down the back. So you're really reaching out through the fingers. Imagine you're gonna like hug around this big barrel. You're not really letting your hands curl in yet, but imagine that motion through the back. You're trying to hug around this giant tree. You're still lengthening through the crown and softening through the face and the shoulders. And now bring the hands all the way to touch overhead. See if you can reach the hands up a little higher, but softly draw the shoulders down the back. Find a little length in the back of the neck, but keep the chin away from the chest a little bit too. Now really press the hands together and feel your core engaged. Press the sit bones down. Exhale, bring your hands to your heart. And then maybe even a little lower than the heart, really pressing the hands together to find that same pulling the shoulders away from each other on the back, but still softening anywhere you can through the face, the neck, the shoulders. Press all the fingers and knuckles together, the whole palms together, and soften that tension from the traps, the eyes. Slowly lower the hands down and then inhale them right back up. Exhale, drop your right hand down to the ground, reach through your left arm and drop over to the right. Keep the left sit bone rooting down. Roll the heart up towards the sky as you draw that elbow back behind your face. Reach through the fingers. Maybe the right elbow lowers down towards the ground. Now soften anywhere you can and lengthen at the same time. So you're trying to find length So some things are becoming tense as you engage some muscles to lengthen, but paying attention that nothing else, nothing that doesn't need to be tense is. So soften wherever you can, the face, the jaw, the mind. And maybe one more breath opens the heart up towards the sky just a little more, and you reach through the fingers. Maybe that right elbow touches the ground. Slowly come up, squeeze your palms together, lift your fingers high, and drop over to the left. Left hand comes down. Right elbow rolls back to open the heart. Reach through the fingers. Plant that right sit bone, soften the shoulders, face, the eyes, the tongue, and reach. Slowly come back up. Squeeze the palms together, reach up. Now hinge forward, bring your hands to the mat. Let your head get heavy and sink in a little bit. Notice how on every exhale, you can let go just a little bit more. But then try not to invite that tension back in when you draw that breath in. Try to continue that feeling of letting go and softening on the inhale and the exhale. Settle in just a little more for one more breath. And slowly come back up. And then we'll come onto our hands and knees. Getting a nice tabletop setup. Now imagine, just like you're pressing your fingers and knuckles into the ground, imagine you're pressing your shins down into the ground. Even if they're not actually touching. Depending on the structure of your legs, they might be touching, they might not. They might be partially touching. But rooting down like that will take some of the weight off your knees. All right, so imagine that you're rooting down into the shins. Now imagine you're using your hands to pull the heart forward a little bit, but without creating any flexion in the spine. So you're keeping your spine straight, but you're pressing the hands in. And as your heart pulls forward, your shoulders drop back a little bit. Lengthen the back of your neck. If you can look at yourself on the camera. If you haven't been doing this, maybe you make yourself the bigger one on the camera so you can look at your form. It's been really helping me with my form. So maybe push the button to make yourself the big one on the screen. And then you can check in. You can kind of glance over and check in with the lines of your spine and your neck. All right, we're going to roll the ankles out a little bit here, unless that's too much pressure on the knees. Switch directions. And then we're going to stretch the wrists a little bit. So turn the wrists around so the back of the wrist faces forward. And again, try to root down into the shins, draw the heart forward, soften where you can. This might already feel like a lot. You can just breathe here, or maybe you start to sway a little bit, or maybe even find a little cat-cow action. So imagine that it's not just the stretch that's letting go of that tension. It's your breath and your awareness. So by taking your breath right to that spot, by bringing your awareness to that spot, by inviting it to soften, we can release the tension in our body. All right, turn the hands back around and start to make that cat-cow motion, dropping the belly low, shining the heart forward, looking up, filling all the way. And exhale, we round it out, drawing the belly into the spine. Press into your hands, tuck everything in tight. See if you can find that little pause between the inhale and the exhale. That little bit of proof that you're staying present and that you're not in a hurry to get on to the next thing. Next time, we're going to exhale and round it all the way up to standing on the knees, to kneeling, yeah? So your head stays heavy and you slowly roll up, root down into the shins, press the hips forward, lift the heart, roll the shoulders back. Keep the shoulders soft, reach out till your hands are parallel to the ground, but your palms facing forward. Find that kind of opening like you're going to hug that great big tree. Soften where you can. Keep that softness as you inhale the arms up. Now make one big fist with your two fists here, interlacing your fingers, gluing the palms together and reaching out of the waist. and drop over to the left. Keep rooting into the shins. Back of the neck is long, but chin is away from the chest. Inhale back to center. Reach up just a little more. Exhale, drop it to the right. Keep your arms straight and soften. Slowly come back up. Bring your hands to your low back. Maybe your fingers point up. Wrap your elbows back there. Press your hips forward, just a little backward bend, okay? You don't have to let your head drop all the way back if you don't feel ready for that. On an inhale, slowly come up. Drop your hands down like cat-cow. Drop the belly low, shine the heart forward. Find that little pause before you start to exhale. Round it all out. After you're empty, find that little pause. Inhale, shine the heart forward. Exhale, we're going to round it back to child's pose. And then slide out onto the belly. Now we're going to reach our hands all the way forward to straighten our arms. We're going to let our forehead rest on the ground. You're going to keep your right hand and your left foot planted. Lift your right foot and your left hand. Lift your head a little bit too, but keep looking down. All right? So lengthen from the right toes to the fingertips, but soften anywhere you can. Draw that shoulder back into the socket. Lift one more time and release. Let your head come back down. This time the right hand and the left foot lift, the forehead lifts, lengthen. Notice what needs to be engaged. Create a little more length and a little more lift, but soften everything else. One more time, lengthen and lift and release. Bring your hands under your shoulders and press back up to your hands and your knees. Set up your tabletop, root into your shins, lengthen the back of the neck, soften. Inhale, drop the belly low, shine the heart forward, take your time and pause. Exhale, round it out. One more time, even slower. Inhale, all the way down into your toes, softening as you draw that breath in. Exhale, tuck the chin, round up to kneeling. Let your head stay heavy, root into the shins. Lift the heart, roll the shoulders back. Keep the shoulders soft, reach your arms out. Hug that big tree to open the shoulders and then lift the arms all the way up, making that one fist, gluing the palms together, reach up. Drop it to the right first this time. Try to keep your arms straight. We'll stay for one more breath. Root into the shins. Lift the chin away from the chest a little bit. Inhale back to center. And exhale, drop it to the left. Inhale back up. Bring your hands to your low back. Press the hips forward, lift the heart. Maybe the head drops back this time. On an inhale, come up, lower the hands, drop the heart, shine it forward. Exhale, back to child's pose. Inhale, slide out onto the belly. Untuck your toes. Press into the feet to peel the heart up. Stay right here, breathing into the low back, or slowly you can straighten into the arms, lifting the heart a little more. Roll the shoulders back, but soften them down. Soften the back side. Maybe for the last breath, you look up or reach up through the chin and slowly lower back down. Curl the toes, lift the knees and quads off the mat and press up to plank pose and hold here for strength. Make sure your fingers are spread wide and your shoulders are stacked right over your elbows, right over your wrists. Back of your neck is long. That same motion, heart shining forward as the shoulders roll back, quads lifting off the knees. Find your strength here. Find stillness here. Find that little pause between each breath. One more breath. If you need to lower to the knees, that's just fine. Now lift up, downward facing dog. Sink into your heels a little bit. If you need to pedal it out, go right ahead. Press into your fingers and knuckles more. Find that motion of opening the back again, almost like the same one as reaching around the tree. As you hollow out the armpits, you draw the shoulders out of the ears and then open the shoulders. to hug those elbows in towards each other, and then let your neck soften into that space you just created, letting your head hang. Can you soften more through the neck and the jaw and the eyes, maybe the ankles? Notice what needs to be activated to hold this pose, and see if you can soften everything else. Slowly walk your hands back to meet your feet. Inhale to lift up halfways, and exhale to fold. You can move around however you like here. Maybe you grab your elbows and start to sway a little bit. Oh, it's smoky today. This is smoky in Reno. Some fires. All right, press into the feet and come up any way that you like. Just come up to standing. Bring your feet to get your big toes together to touch and your heels just slightly apart. And really root down into the feet. See if you can grow a little taller and a little softer. So notice what needs to be activated to be as tall as you can. Drawing those quads up, lifting through the heart, but softening through the face, the shoulders, the eyes. It's like exerting only just the amount of energy or creating just the only amount of tension we need to move through our poses. Becoming mindful of where we can soften. All right, keep pressing down into the feet, keep the shoulders soft, reach the arms out to the sides and imagine you hugging that big tree to create space between the shoulders, and then lift the arms all the way up. Squeeze those palms together again, making that one big fist, and drop your arms over to the right. Try to straighten into the arms. We'll take one more breath. Press out through your hips. Maybe the heart rolls up towards the sky just a touch. Come back up. Reach up and drop it to the left. Drop a little weight into your heels. Soften through the shoulders. Slowly come back up. Now lower your hands down behind. Interlace your fingers back there. Maybe the palms glue together again. Roll the heart open. Drawing the shoulders back. Find a little backward bend, but mostly just a lift through the heart. Maybe your head drops back into that space. Now slowly hinge forward. Let your hands just rest on your hips as you hinge forward. Now start to bend the knees and let your head fall forward. Reach the arms up and overhead. Soften anywhere you can. Pull the belly in. We won't soften there. Rock a little weight into the balls of the feet. Keep reaching through the arms and notice what muscles are activated and what muscles aren't able to help, and see if you can make the distinction and soften anywhere you can. Now bend your knees a lot so your thighs are parallel to the ground, and lift your heart up so you're like half lift here. Look forward. Exhale, fold. Maybe you start to straighten into the legs a little bit. We'll do that 3 more times. So lower your booty all the way to the same height as your knees. Pull your belly in. Shine your heart forward, look forward. Exhale, fold, rock a little weight into the balls of the feet, lift the sit bones up and back. 2 more times, go really slow. Find that little pause between each breath. Wow, this is as smoky as it's been here. I even smell it in the air. And slowly release. Walk your hands forward. Find that downward facing dog. I hope it's not close by. Sinking into those heels just a little bit more, softening through the ankles. See if you can melt the heart down towards the knees just a little bit. God, I just got this feeling that it's really close by fire. The smoke is like really moving through here. And I smell it really strong now. Inhale, lift the right leg up high. Exhale, draw your knee all the way to your nose and find a rounding here. Inhale, shoot it back up. Press the left heel down, reach the right heel up. Then come up on the left tippy toes and exhale, draw the knee to the nose. Find that rounding. And then step the right foot all the way through. Come on up for crescent lunge. Set it up. Find your breath. Sink in a little bit. Press the right knee forward as you draw that right hip back a little bit, creating some space to soften into. So on the inhale, you're creating space, literally like pulling the shoulders apart, peeling the hips apart, but you're trying to do it without creating any unnecessary tension. Yeah, engaging your muscles is tension, right? So the certain muscles, there's a little tension. See if you can make the distinction and soften anywhere you can. All right, open it up now like warrior two. Press the right knee forward, peeling the hips apart. Press the feet down. Gaze out over the right fingertips. Find your breath. So now keep your arms just like a clock. So they're one's pointing so that they're making a straight line. Yeah. And now we're going to turn them to the right, like clockwise, all the way like 180 degrees. So now the left arm reaches forward. Come up on the back toes. So now you're like in crescent lunge, and we'll reverse it. Right hand comes to left thigh. Press the right knee forward more. Lift the left hand up. And now plant the left hand down inside the right foot. Press the right knee forward more. Gaze up at the right hand. Peel that right shoulder back to stack the shoulders. Lower the left knee down. Lift the upper body. Bring the right hand to the left thigh, like reverse crescent on the ground. Reach the left hand up. Now cartwheel your hands down to frame the foot. Curl the left toes under. Shoot the left foot up high like standing splits. And then slowly come all the way up to standing. Bring the left knee with you. Now slowly stack the left knee over the right. Maybe your toes can wrap around. Reach your arms out to the sides and then drop the left arm under the right. See if you can get your palms to touch and sink in just a little bit more. Draw the elbows out and up. Softly draw the shoulders down your back. Find your breath. See if you can notice which muscles are needing to be engaged here and which ones you can soften a little bit more. Draw the upper body back a little bit. So yeah, we could soften through the belly, but we won't, right? We're almost always engaging our core in yoga, strengthening the core. Slowly come back up, lift the knee high, hinge forward, shoot that leg back. Everything parallel to the ground. Flex the foot, press back through the heel, level the hips out. Slowly step back like crescent lunge with eagle arms. Sink in, find a little backward bend. Release the arms, plant the left hand down, reach the right hand up. Roll to the outside of the left foot, sweep the right foot back, side plank. Lift the hips a little higher, reach the right arm up alongside the ear, step the right foot behind you and flip it over, lift the hips. Reach through the fingers, relax your head and your neck. Slowly come back to plank. Lower through chaturanga, meeting back in downward facing dog. Take a couple breaths here. Take that little pause between each breath. Inhale, lift the left foot high. Exhale, draw the knee to the nose, round it out. Inhale, shoot it back up. Press the right heel down, press the left heel up, then come up on the toes. Then exhale, knee to nose and step it through like crescent lunge. Sink in a little bit here. See where you can create space. Pressing the left knee forward, you draw the right heel back, reaching up out of the waist more, and then seeing what you can soften into that new space you just created. And now open it up like warrior two. Spin that right heel down, press the left knee forward, gaze out over the left fingers, and reach. See, your shoulders will trick you and make you think that they can help you find that maximum wingspan more, and they'll kind of lift up. See if you can talk them into softening back down and reach a little bit more. Okay, your arms are like a clock. This time we'll turn them to the left till they're straight the other direction. Come up on those back toes like crescent. Come right into reverse crescent. Left hand, right thigh. Press the left knee forward. Reach the right hand up. Cartwheel the right hand down. Reach the left hand up. Stack the shoulders. And then peel the heart up towards the sky. Soften the shoulders out of the ears. Lower the right knee. Lift the upper body. Left hand, right thigh. Right hand reaches up. Cartwheel hands down to frame that foot. Curl the right toes under. Shoot the right foot high like standing splits. Slowly come to standing. Hug the right knee in and up till you feel balanced. And then cross that right knee over the left for eagle pose. Maybe your toes can wrap all the way around. Arms out to the sides. Hug that big tree and then drop that right arm under the left. Maybe your palms can touch. Soften. Sink in. And that pause between the inhale and the exhale. And instead of being hard on yourself, if you forget to find the pause, just celebrate a little tiny bit every time you remember. Just be like, ah, I remembered to take the pause. I remembered to stay present. Slowly come up, lift the right knee high, hinge forward, get everything parallel to the ground, flex the foot, lengthen, level the hips, slowly step back, crescent lunge with eagle arms. Press the left knee forward, find a little backward bend. Release the hands, plant the right hand, reach the left hand up, roll to the outside of the right foot, sweep the left foot back. Left arm up alongside the ear, lengthen, and then step that left foot back, flip it over. Relax your head and your neck. Slowly come back to plank, optional vinyasa. Meeting back in downward facing dog. Inhale, lift the right foot up high. Exhale, draw the knee to the nose, round it out. Inhale, shoot it up. Left heel presses down, right heel presses up. Come up on the toes. Exhale, knee to nose. Step it through. Warrior one. Left heel spins out and down. Reach up out of the waist. Press the right knee forward. Draw the right hip back and reach. All right, squeeze the palms together more. If your hands are together, they don't have to be together. Soften the shoulders down the back. Imagine it's that same motion of like hugging around the tree as you draw the shoulders down and away from each other. Press the right knee forward just a little more. See if all four corners of both feet are pressing down evenly. Bring your hands to your heart. Hinge forward, turn and twist to the right. Hook the elbow outside your knee. Notice your tendency to kind of straighten into the right leg there and press the right knee forward more. And then press the left elbow against the knee to twist the heart towards the thumbs. Maybe placing them on the center of the chest here. See what muscles you need to use that leverage to start to twist the spine open. See what you can soften here. Keep your belly drawn in, but soften through the jaw, the eyes, the shoulders, the mind. Slowly lower, come up on the back toes, lower the left knee all the way down, untuck the toes, and then open the arms up. Keep your twist. See if you can get a little more twist here as you roll that right shoulder back. And slowly come up. Right hand, left thigh, right knee presses forward, left hand reaches up. Cartwheel hands down to frame the foot, curl the left toes. Keep the left foot high like standing splits. Come all the way up to standing. And this time we'll hook the peace sign fingers around the big toe and kick out through the left heel. You can bring your right arm out to the side for balance or onto your hip. Kick as hard as you can. Lift up through the heart. I really hope our property's not on fire. It's really, really getting terribly smoky and actually burning my eyes. See where you can soften here. If you feel balanced, bring your left leg out to the left. Kicking as hard as you can all the way. If you feel balanced, gaze out over the right shoulder. Soften anywhere you can. And now it's getting windy. Slowly bring it back to the center. Keep it here. Try to lower your head down to touch your knee. Slowly come back up. Release your foot, but keep it lifted. Point your toe, lift a little higher. Press down into the right foot, lift a little higher. One more time. And release, shake it out. All right, step your feet together. Lower your booty enough to touch the floor. Sweep the floor forward. Find your chair pose. Sink in just a little bit more. Find some space. Soften into it. Find that little space between each breath. Exhale, fold forward. Inhale, lift up halfway. Exhale, chaturanga. Meeting back in downward facing dog. Inhale, lift the left foot up high. Exhale, knee to nose, round it out. Inhale, reach it up. Come up from the toes. Exhale, knee to nose, step it through like warrior one. Right heel spins out and down, arms reach up out of the waist, left knee presses forward. Now feel what muscles you can engage to create space, opening the hips. The feet are pressing down, the quads are engaged, the core is always engaged. You're drawing that left hip back. What muscles does that engage? Can you tell? Can you soften around all those other muscles that are not engaged here? Can you soften through the eyebrows? Because furrowing your brow will not help you open your hips. I learned that today. Reach up out of the waist just a little more. If you're squeezing your palms together, squeeze the whole palms together. No space, no gaps there. Bring your hands to your heart. Keep pressing the left knee forward. Turn and twist to the left. As always, if you need to, you can come up on those back toes. But if you can keep that heel down, you'll get a really nice twist. All right, press the left knee forward. Turn the heart towards the thumbs. Pull the belly out of the way. Lengthen what you can, soften what you can. Find that little pause and celebrate that you remembered, that you're still here, present in this moment with this breath you haven't checked out. Okay, come up on the back toes, lower the knee down, open the arms up, keep pressing the knee forward and twist your spine open. Find your breath, soften. Slowly come up like reverse crescent on the ground. Left hand, right thigh, right hand reaches up. Cartwheel hands down, curl the right toes, shoot the right foot high. Standing splits. Come to standing. Grab that big toe with the peace sign fingers and kick through the heel. Lift through the heart. Soften through the face and shoulders. And if and when you're ready, bring that right leg out to the right. You can use that left hand for balance if you like. If and when you're ready, gaze out over the left shoulder. Keep kicking through the heel. Slowly come back to center. Keep kicking through the heel as you lower the head down to touch the knee. Soften. Come back up. Keep your foot lifted, but release your toes. Point them. Lift a little higher. Draw the belly in. Lift a little higher. One more time. And release and shake it out. Big toes touch, heels slightly apart, knees don't move, booty lowers way back, enough to sweep the floor forward and reach up, sink into your chair. And with every exhale, we'll lower down another inch until our booty touches the floor. Take your time. If you need to use your hands to soften the fall, you can. We'll come right into a boat pose on the floor here. I'm just gonna make sure nobody's like texting me to evacuate or anything like that. Not that anybody has service around here. Okay, finding that boat pose, maybe the arms are straight and the legs are straight. Squeeze the legs together, pull the belly in. And now we'll inhale and lengthen all the way out to a hover. And we'll exhale and come back up. Oh, I'm in a hole. Inhale, lengthen to a hover. Soften your face, soften your brow. Exhale, come back up. See if you can tell what is being worked here, what needs to create tension to lift you up, and what's just trying to tag along here and create unnecessary tension. See if you can talk it into softening, not just on the exhale, on the inhale too. All right, lengthen to a hover, look down at your feet, squeeze your legs together, reach out through the balls of the feet. And lower your head down, but keep your feet lifted. If you have a tricky low back, you can place the hands down under your booty. Now we're gonna lift the right leg up towards the sky. Left leg still hovering, kick out through the heels, drawing the toes in towards the face. Slowly switch the legs. Press out through the heels to be a little longer and switch slowly with your own breath. Your chin is slightly tucked, your shoulders are on the mat, your brow is not furrowed, and your mind is soft. Meaning you're not really thinking about this pose. You don't really need to, right? Just allowing your legs to move, allowing your core to strengthen. And if you're thinking about anything, it's what can I soften? What muscles are trying to tense up unnecessarily? And can I learn to just create as much tension or use as much energy as necessary for this pose? All right, hug your knees into your chest. Okay, see if you can grab your elbows around your knees. All right, bring your head back down to the ground, tuck your chin a little bit, and squeeze your knees in more. But soften the face and shoulders. Now imagine that you were gonna drop your feet down till they were flat on the ground, but they don't really move much because you're squeezing them in so tight. But see that how that motion will help you get the lower vertebrae and the booty down on the ground so that your whole spine can be flat on the ground here. And then soften anywhere you can, but keep those muscles engaged that are trying to lower the feet down flat on the ground to get the spine flat, but soften through the brow, the jaw, the eyes. Okay, now we'll let the left leg go long and we'll interlace the fingers around the right knee and hug it in towards the right shoulder. It's kind of like you're trying to tuck it into the armpit. So it's outside of your body here so you can bring it in more. Kick out through the left heel. Drawing those left toes back towards the face. Relax the right ankle, maybe even shake it out a little bit. Tuck the chin a little bit. Hug the elbows in against the body and squeeze that right knee in all the way to the right armpit. Soften anywhere you can. Find that little pause between each breath and celebrate that you're still present. You haven't taken any of the temptations to follow your mind down that little rabbit hole trying to convince you of all the things you still need to become or all the things you didn't do proper. Congratulations for saying no thanks. I'm going to stay right here in my breath and enjoy my practice. Okay, and now we switch, straighten the right leg, hug the left knee in, interlace your fingers, squeeze it in, kick through the right heel, tuck the chin a bit, unfurrow the brow, hug the elbows in, relax that left ankle. And release. Hug both your knees into your chest. We'll find a happy baby. Maybe you grab the big toes from the inside of your feet and straighten the legs out wide to the sides. Hug your knees into your chest. Have you guys tried doing yoga out in your yards to see if you get internet connection outside? It's probably too hot there at noon, huh? All right, lower your feet down flat on the ground and cross your right knee over your left. Lift your left foot up off the ground. Interlace your fingers behind that left thigh. Lower your head back down. Tuck the chin a little. And just keep pulling that thigh in a little closer. Maybe you'll find a nice opening through like your wrists and your fingers and your forearms here. Creating a little resistance, but softening anywhere you can, yeah? If you want more, you can grab the front of that left shin for the last breath or two here, which just kind of brings that right hip in a little closer. Okay, keep your foot crossed over your knee, but release your grip and lower that left foot back down. Cactus the arms and let your lower body drop to the left so the right foot can be flat on the ground. Walk that left heel in a little closer to your glute. Try to lower the booty down or the right hip down and gaze out over the right shoulder. So you can stay right here. I always think it feels really good to kind of try to press the right foot down and then let that right knee fall open out away from you towards the front. Now soften anywhere you can. Find that little pause between each breath. Give your body permission to let go of some of this tension. Give your mind permission to let go of some of this tension in the form of thoughts or lists or doubts or fear, judgments. Instead of being hard on yourself every time one of those things does come up, just quietly, softly celebrate all the moments where they don't. You're just softening and enjoying this moment, letting it just be what it is. Okay, see if you can use this one last breath to let go of all the rest of that tension you've been holding on to in that hip or wherever you feel it the most. And slowly come back to center, hug your knees in, hug your forehead in, squeeze everything in tight. Lower the feet down flat. Cross the left knee over the right. Lift your right foot up. Interlace your fingers around the right thigh. Lower your head, tuck your chin, pull that thigh in. Soften the brow and the shoulders. Find that little pause and celebrate it. Maybe grabbing the front of that shin for the last breath or two here. Foot stays crossed, release right foot down, cactus the arms. Lower body goes to the right so the left foot can lower down. Gaze out over the left hand. Maybe that right heel walks in a little closer to the glute. And maybe you press the left foot down and let the left knee fall open out away from you. Kind of opens it in a different way. Soften through the jaw, eyes. All right, one last chance. Use this breath to let go just a little bit more. You don't need that tension right there. Slowly come back to center. Hug your knees into your chest. Hug your forehead and just touch your knees and squeeze everything in real tight. Now we'll roll it back into a plow pose. Unless there's a different pose you'd rather do. If you'd rather do a back bend, we're still gonna do a twist. Maybe your toes can touch the ground back there. Maybe you can soften a little bit more than you ever have in this one, really releasing that tension through the sides of your neck. Once you learn not to let the breath be restricted in this pose, it's one that you can really have an aha moment in. Once you're not like holding your breath and like this pose is hard and I'm squished, you can kind of soften in and then you're like, oh, this pose is awesome. I don't know if you guys have had that happen with this pose yet. But once you do, you'll realize why I can't really teach a class without doing it, or I try not to. It might be my favorite pose. Okay, we'll lift on up into shoulder stand. So bring your hands to your low back, creating a shelf for the hips, and straighten your legs up towards the ceiling or the sky. Imagine I'm coming over and lifting your feet up. Just lift you up off the ground. See if you can create that sense of lightness on your own by lifting and softening anything that is not helping you lift. So maybe if you're really advanced yogi, you can use your mind to lift a little higher. But if you're not there yet, go ahead and soften through the mind, the face, and anything else that cannot help you lift your legs any higher. Let's drop it back into plow for just a couple more breaths. Finding any leg variation you like. Maybe the soles of your feet come together and you let the knees splay out. Maybe you cover the ears with the knees. See if you can soften. One more chance, one more breath. Soften anywhere you can. Reach your hands forward, back behind you. Press your palms down and real slow. Roll on out. Hug your knees into your chest. Lower your feet down flat. Cross your right knee over your left. Bring your arms straight out to the sides. Palm face up or down, whatever feels good. Shift those hips to the right and lower the knees to the left. Find a twist. Gaze over the right hand. Soften. See how long you can make this inhale. Make the exhale match. Notice that feeling of softening on the exhale as that tension leaves your face, your shoulders, and see if you can simulate that on the inhale as well. One more chance to let it all go. Let this be the breath. Slowly come back to center. Hug your knees in, hug your forehead in. Lower your feet down flat. Cross the left knee over the right. Arms straight out, palms up or down, hips to the left, knees to the right. Gaze out over the left hand and soften. One more chance, one more breath. Slowly come back to center. Hug your knees in. And let your legs go long on the mat. And now we'll let go of controlling the breath. We'll let go of controlling anything. See if you can still find that softening on the inhale and the exhale without any concerted effort though, not focusing on it, not creating any tension in your mind, just really trying to soften all over. See if you can find that joy of being, that little silent celebration, that gratitude you have. And you do the things you need to do to feel good. The gratitude you have that your practice is out of the way. And you've done what you needed to do to come into this space. Invite a deeper breath back through the nose, all the way down into the toes. Invite the sensation of movement back. And invite yourself to continue to use every breath as a new opportunity to let something go. And every time you remember to let the exhale soften your face and shoulders, see if you can find that little celebration, that little joy of being. When you're ready, roll onto either side. And we'll slowly press back up to a seat. Finding a nice tall spine. Softly draw the shoulders down, the back one more time. Inhale, reach the arms out, hug that big tree, but keep the softness. Lift the arms all the way up. And then draw the hands down to the heart. And let the head bow to the heart. Lift the thumbs to the space above the eyebrows and take a moment to thank yourself for showing up. May all beings everywhere be free from pain and suffering. May our thoughts and actions in some way contribute to that. Namaste.